guest speakers on board. And, to hear them, to see what they have done, to hear about their experiences, and most importantly, not just the professional stuff, but their personal way of life is something that is super normal. And I think that is what all our audiences always look forward to. So I'm extremely delighted, privileged, and honored to welcome our guest speakers for today. In no particular order, we have Divya Lal, who is the founder and MD of Fliplearn. Welcome, Divya, and lovely to have you on board with us.
Thank you, Sameera. Thank you, Shekhar. Thank you, everyone.
Great going. We have Sudhir Udayakanth, my longtime friend, founder and CEO of Sudhir Udayakanth Training Academy. It's called SUTA. Am I right, Sudhir? Wonderful. We have Vijetha Shastry, the executive director of TIE Bangalore. Very enterprising personality, very inclusive, and all my associations with him have just kept it going throughout. So amazing, Vijetha. Lovely to have you with us. We have Sathya Sankaran, who is also known as the bicycle mayor, and also he is the co-founder of Urban Morph. A warm welcome to you, Sathya. We also have with us Santosh Panda, who is the partner and co-founder of foundershiphq.com. A warm welcome to you, Santosh. Wonderful to have you with us. Before we continue, may I request all our speakers to kindly unmute themselves. It's going to be a very interactive, crazy, fun-loving discussion. So you can always kind of interrupt each other and follow etiquette. And before we start, also a special thanks to all our sponsors: Icosol Global, Shevens Entertainment, Boopalam, Botanical, Cicada Media, I Am Here, Enablers, Westland Publications, News Karnataka, Dew Debon. We also have Sunshine Bakers, eTransform, Threadworks, Elephant Marketing, Peppercoin, Jagrati Education, and Motherhood, who are with us, supporting us to ensure that every episode goes a long way to creating positive vibes in our community. Over to you, Shekhar.
Thank you, Sameera. Sameera, I don't know if you've noticed this, but all the the panelists you spoke about have one common thread in them. I'm not talking about the guitars in Sudhir's backyard in background. That it's become a backyard actually in more ways than because of the pandemic. But there is a spirit of creativity, there is a spirit of passion, and that spirit is what keeps them all going. And which reminds me of this dialogue from this movie called Pursuit of Happiness, which stars the great Will Smith, who I think is the real OG. Because Will Smith is somebody who's very eternal in more ways than one. And I want to ask, I want to start with Santosh, and I can go to Vijetha from there. When you talk about entrepreneurs, I think what drives all entrepreneurs is the spirit of passion, the spirit of creativity, and that spirit of just making it happen in spite of what you see around you. It's like you actually cover it like a dream. And the reason I'm saying this is because we have a larger audience here, which is, entrepreneurs, students, and people who may be your children. Everybody's watching you. And I would love to know from you, like Santosh, I know you're an entrepreneur, and I know you for a long time. And he's somebody who's very inspirational. Santosh, from your perspective, how do you nurture that dream? How do you nurture the dream of being passionate, of being creative, and of just going for it in spite of all the hurdles around you?
So I think, being an entrepreneur, one of the biggest things that you do is you are very curious about things, right? Because every single day is going to be a new challenge, right? So this set pattern that we generally expect in life is not going to come. So if you're a person of curious that how is this working or not going to work, and why is this person not motivated to be part of this, everything that you would do in your day-to-day life, if you're curious about it, I would say you are an entrepreneur, because you have that fine grain that is required to go innovate, to bring people together to work with you, to motivate people to work, to learn yourself, to unlearn. All these things you won't get anywhere else except entrepreneurship. And that motivates me to be back in the game every day.
Thank you, Steve. Now, on that note, I'll go to Vijetha. I know one thing that Vijetha misses in this entire pandemic is the spirit of traveling. He's an avid traveler, and I think he's traveled a lot before the pandemic. Now, Vijetha, from your perspective, you're handling TIE, and you work with so many people. I think the entire spirit of entrepreneurship is also the spirit of networking, right? We are missing that obviously we're doing that, in a virtual manner. But from your perspective, how do you nurture the dream of just going out there and networking? How do you connect with people?
One is daydreaming helps a lot, Shekhar. but having said that, in fact, just before we started the discussion, Sudhir and we were chatting about this, isn't it? That it's still, this situation has thrown up a lot of opportunities for us, Shekhar. We are getting to meet and connect with a lot of people beyond the confines of the city or the locality or the office that we are working from. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I think, I have the privilege of knowing you. I know Sudhir from before, SAMEERA from before, Santosh, of course. We are all committed and we want to do something, right? We want to add value. We want to bring, I'm sure even Divya, and you just want to make sure that, you want to keep things moving, right? So we have taken a pause. I would say that we've taken a pause, which means that we have to also behave ourselves, Shekhar. We should not be a cause of more harm or grief to the community and the ecosystem. But at some point of time, or maybe it may take 3 months or 6 months, just see, right? The Olympics is on. India has won a silver medal.
Absolutely. It's a proud moment for India.
It's a proud moment, isn't it? It's an amazing moment. I mean, it makes us feel so good, right? And so there is possibilities. It'll take some time. But I think Santosh, it will resonate with you as well, right? Entrepreneur resilience. So now Santosh has started his own accelerator. He's mentoring other founders and startups. Yeah. He's helping them to raise funds. So we wear different hats at different times and we try to do what we can, right? So yes, I miss travel. I've been in touch. I'm a hotel management and graduate. I work with Taj Group Hotels. It's a shout out to all these phenomenal hoteliers out there who are working very hard. They're going through very, very tough times, Shekhar. Very, very tough times. Things will change. We owe travel back to them. Okay, little bit of money that we have, let's give it to them. Yesterday, I spent a little bit of money at one of my friends' restaurants. Okay, he's been part of my team at Taj. He's an entrepreneur, so he's a startup founder, you can say. So could I contribute by giving him some business? So we need to help all the entrepreneurs and startups to come back. Yes, I'm making my plans. I'm sure all of us are making our plans to travel. We want to meet with founders. We want to meet with startups. We are working with embassies. We're working with people from all over the world. And at the end of it, we say, man, we're going to meet sometime for a coffee, beer. We're going to catch up. We're going to have a holiday, etc. So keep building, keep staying resilient. Let's keep doing what we can for the ecosystem and community. And hats off to people like you and SAMEERA for bringing this together. And that's all that I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vijetha. Now we've also got Sathya here. Sathya Sankaran is a very passionate man. I know him because I used to do the cycle days. And, the cycle days in Bangalore were a government-driven initiative. And Sathya was really behind it, in terms of, it's not an easy job getting people in together and working with different people. I think he's amazing. He's right now in the hospital, but I would love his perspective too. If he can hear us. Sathya, I know you're not in video though. But sir, we would love, Sathya, we would need your perspective on how you're nurturing the dream of yours of just going out there and doing things on your own without any distractions. Like you're just out there. Even in this pandemic, I know you've done a lot of work in terms of, going out and delivering supplies and using your entire network of bicyclists. So tell us more about that, Sathya.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm stuck in the rain. Can you hear me?
Of course, loud and clear.
Okay. All right. So we trying to look at behavioral change in a broader context, right? So if you need either some good thing to happen in this world, we need to have a change happening, and it has to come from each one of us. And of course, we all carry our biases and our prejudices along, but we have to find collective common good which we can tap into, and that is what I've been trying to do. And a lot of us have come together to do something like that. What it benefits is, in the long run, creates a new market space for green, right? So we need to, if we want to make the switch, we need to have collective action happening at some level. So that is what we've been trying in our own small, humble way. I'm not saying we are succeeding very well, but we are making a small dent, and over time it will build up. All these take time. Broad goals are not achievable overnight. So yeah, let's see where that goes.
Thank you, Sathya. He hit on a very important point, which is for the larger audience. He spoke about resilience, and resilience is somebody associated with SAMEERA Fernandes. SAMEERA, over to you on the point of resilience.
So, I want to ask you all a quick question in one word. We talk about, kick-starting, after the lockdown, currently with things slowly picking up. Can you tell me what is the, one most important essential ingredient which is very important in your organizations to take it forward currently at this stage? I would like to start by asking Divya. Over to you.
And one thing, one word,
Yeah,
I think it's culture. I
beautiful.
think that is, it's something that stays, and that is what drives people to, deliver on their KRAs or on their roles, wherever they are from, and whether they are in hills and working on work from home, or they are on the streets reaching out to schools. I think culture, hands down.
Wonderful. I think that is in the DNA. Sudhir, tell us your secret.
3 words, not one. Thoughtful
Right.
human connections. Thoughtful human connections.
Wow.
Wow.
Because this is something which, it's like, thanks to pandemic. I keep saying thanks to pandemic, because everything I think happens for a reason. And the reason, sometimes when you see something good out of everything, we call this the reverse paranoia. I'm a student of psychology, so I might throw some of these words. It's like, but the fact is, reverse paranoia is nothing but, you hoping that anything that's happening in your life is actually happening for the good.
Correct.
Right. No matter how horrible it looks at this particular point of time, but it's actually happening, and there's something nice going to come out of it. It could be you losing a relationship. It could be you losing something big, opportunity as a business. It could be you losing somebody. It's all for the good. It's like, can you imagine the ones that you chased in college? Thanks that she's not yours today. Maybe it's a stroke of luck sometime. You don't know. So the fact is, for us, it is all about thoughtful human connection.
Yeah.
And this going online has made us, one, get a little technologically advanced. We've started to learn what are the things that works, how to share the right screen and all that. Second part is it's also like you with the comfort of your home. And I'm right now sitting in my office with the guitars at the back and all the creative sides around, comfortable than stepping out, going to meet somebody, waiting at the reception and finally meet for like 10 minutes and come back. Here it's like something where we immediately it's happening. And I hope this continues. Pandemic should get over, but I hope this work from home continues, except for some feel like what Vijetha spoke about is in hospitality. Yes, we need to be out there. Travel, yes, we miss that. But I think sometimes all these, it's still good. Yeah. So we are at home. I know a lot of youngsters are listening to this. And since we are talking about, do I have that extra 1 minute? Shekhar, can I take that? Yeah. Since a lot of youngsters are listening to this, and most of you would be thinking entrepreneurship is like fun. It's like, wow, he's the boss. I'll have to break some myths here. It's not so easy. So you would see an entrepreneur, driving a big car or like, probably living a life and telling people what to do. You have no idea what he or she is going through. It's like the swan above the water, which looks so beautiful, but only the swan knows it's paddling so hard under that water. All right. So if you ever plan to start your own business someday, you want to be an entrepreneur, meet 3 people before you start. Who are these 3? First one is a failed businessman. Second is a struggling businessman. Third is a successful businessman. If you can meet these 3 people, take a call and then you start. But let me tell you, once you are there 3 years later, you will be happy that you started something on your own. Thank you.
Amazing, Sudhir. And I want to ask Santosh. Santosh, do you resonate with what Sudhir said just now in terms of, what is the basic essence of your organization?
Absolutely. I think Sudhir has put it so well structured. And as I have built the business, and I can tell you, it is going to be a myth if we are not telling the youngsters or even the people who are coming out of corporates after a decade to start something, not to get carried away by the media, by the hype, but go by the realities of who your customer is and the kind of struggle that you're going to go through, whether funding, no funding, that should be put aside. It should be sensible for them, for us as an ecosystem, as Vijetha talked about, as an ecosystem enabler. I think it is our duty to inform people that we're going to have absolutely a nightmare, right? So be prepared about it. And be very courageous to accept that things might not work the way you thought, and not just damage yourself, your family, your relationships, your ideas about your worldview. I think Sudhir has put it. I don't have to add that. Ajay rightly said, we all aspire to be successful, but I think as we learn from the very, very beginning, it is that 2 times you have to fall down and then you're going to hold your mom's hand and start walking, right? So I think this similar thought is even in the business. You may get funded, but you're going to fail a couple of times. So as Sudhir put it, those three should be somewhere there. Sudhir, you're putting it somewhere. Please write those 3 sentences. That was so nicely.
Yes.
So wonderful.
Yes. I also would like to add one more thing along with exactly what Satish mentioned. Is also, I mean, he's into funding, right? The nightmare he sits is entirely different. Finding out whether the person can even scale the business that he's looking for the funding is one. Second thing is also not to get very personal and emotional with your business. Just in case it doesn't work, you should have that guts to say, I'm going to walk away from this, cut my losses. I'm going to walk away, start something new. I've been 21 years in the same business, and there were moments that I wanted to just walk and say, enough. But somebody will come and say, Sudhir, I think, you know what, there's still some hope. And these are the, sorry to use the word, these are the idiots who just sort of get you going there. And suddenly you start to realize, yeah, actually it works. Why not? So I've still been with this 21, it's like, but thankfully I've been a little lucky. But for those of you who plan to start, the youngsters listening out here, if for whatever reason you think it's not working, decide to walk away. Maybe you are meant for something else, business itself, but maybe something else. Try it and don't think of what people are going to say. Family said this, mama said this, dad said this. Forget about it. End of the day, no one's going to come and help you. It's just you all by yourself.
Thanks, Sudhir. So, on that overcast note, as we talk, it's raining in Bangalore. I think the gods have heard us. But the interesting thing about Bangalore is this street might have rain, the next street doesn't have rain. It all depends on the clouds we are in. So on that cloudy note, Sudhir or Divya, I wanted to ask you this question. When is the last time you failed at something repeatedly?
Oh, every day. I'm trying to lose weight. You have no idea how much failure I'm going through.
So if you could give us an instance where you failed repeatedly and then you have managed to overcome it in your own way.
I think I'll tell you about 2 instances. One where failed, and like Sudhir was saying, kind of shut it off and kind of exited it, and failed to actually turn it around. So in the business space, I mean, I work with schools, and also as a part of reaching out to children, had a small call center set up that would call the kids that were enrolled via the school. Tried for like 18 months, and everybody understands being self-funded, driving even smaller teams can be paid. And finally just found somebody who will take over that part of the business and will invest money and run it. So my failure, but I found an exit for the people so that they can continue on their journey and everything, but failed totally. And finally exited out of that, actually exiting it on 1st of August. What turned out successful, this venture is 5 years old, failed at creating communication platforms and not being able to sustain it over a couple of years. Tried supplying books at doorsteps online, like an Amazon delivery, failed to sustain or to scale it up to, go up to 1,000 schools or something, didn't cross about more than 30, 40. Failed again, did some fee collection stuff. Finally turned it around, and today I have more than 400,000 users across 400 schools on a homework delivery system that we launched. And I want to change the way homework happens in India forever. I mean, I think we're in 2021 and still teachers carrying 200 notebooks every day is just ridiculous.
I'm with you on this completely.
So yeah.
We didn't do our homework and that's why we landed here.
Yeah.
Santosh sir, I want to know from you. So I know that you were in UK for a long time, and then you came back to India, and you set up shop, and you went through your own trials and tribulations. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so those trials are very hard. That's why I said I'm able to relate to what Sudhir talked about, right? And I think the environment changes. We all go by every situation where we say, oh, things might have changed. But even today, for someone to start and really build a scalable business, when I say scalable, it's profitable, sustainable, happy. I'm not talking about venture funded, loss making. I'm not, kind of judging anything like that. But whichever route you pick, right, you are going to have trouble. The same thing happened with me. I had a beautiful life in the UK, part of BBC, part of eBay, could walk into any company to become a CTO or a, at least a CXO. But then I had the bug to go out and start. And I had already been playing out at least one or two companies back in London. Both of them didn't work. And then I kind of decided that, hey, at some point of time, I'm going to be going back to India. So this India call was there in the back of my mind in 2006-07, when India had not even woken up to start up. Calling dad over in a weekend and saying, register a company without a co-founder, right? So I said, I'll figure it out, and reaching out to my current Explara co-founder. He was in Singapore doing his MBA. He thought, you are a crazy guy. I'm not going to go join you. And later on, after 3 years, he coming and joining as a co-founder, which happened 3 years. So that 3 year is what I had to drive. But I was fortunate with a lot of good people, that I could assemble, that I could work from London. I had a team in Pune. Those days I started it up. Remotely ran the company for 3 years and got the company from 0 to a 6 crore top line. 3 years, the founder not being in India at all and building India's first DIY event ticketing platform. But that got me to lose my PR in UK. That got me to lose my, many other financial challenges that, got every bit of my savings go out, right? With that mindset, I need to build the business. And as Divya talked about, this is, as an entrepreneur, you're going to give it a good shot. You cannot just leave it. And the only way that you're going to give it a good shot is to see that your customers are liking what you're doing, not by the hype, but because we were growing and the customers were appreciating, the value was growing. That got me into the game all the time. But I have documented it on, medium places. I had absolutely disastrous time on all sides. Thanks to wife, thanks to family, and and the co-founder and the team members who stayed for the company for at least 3 years, right? Without seeing the founder next to them, they had the faith that we are building for something. So that has been my journey initially. But I did that because I believe that India market is going to open up. India is going to be huge, and it is a location where we can build the company. I couldn't have built the company back in London because I didn't have any savings. So you can build a company. In fact, if NRIs or anybody who is watching this sitting in any part of the world, this is your golden moment to build a company wherever you are living in India. Come and build, right? That's exactly what I did in 2007, because you can build in 1/5 of the cost. 1/50th of the cost you can build in India that you cannot build in any global city. If you're living in NY, you can launch a business in 3 months. It might take you 16 months when to launch that part of product sitting in New York, let's say, or London, right? So those are the sort of unlearnings, struggles, fight, and being in the market just because of customers' love and the affection and the growth that got us to stay for 3 years. So that has been my story there.
Santosh ji, I should tell you this. If TV channels are watching it right now, they'll say, "Gaur se dekho usko. Ye hai Atmanirbhar Bharat." But this is a perfect example of Bharat. We speak about successful businessmen, but we have shown how failure can be a stepping stone for success. The reason I'm asking this is because we have a lot of students who are listening to us. A lot of people who feel like going abroad and studying is the real deal, right? But I think in India, as we talk, there are certain things happening, and we are talking about that.
Over the weekend, as last week happened, again, I'm not going by the debates, but the IPO itself, Zomato IPO itself is a momentum in India to say Indian customers, consumers are all looking for products and innovation to come out of India and back it. That generation that we have all had, our parents, yes, great, savings mindset, all that is great. But today's generation is aspirational. They want to build something. So I'm going to be again recommending anybody who is trying to put that $15,000 or $60,000, please do not do it. You can learn by being in India today and learn something right here. If you're going for a higher research subject, please go, please do, right? We need it. We need you back again. But if you're only going to build your network, you don't have to go anywhere. You're sitting in Bangalore today. You can network with anybody in anywhere, right? This is your golden moment to build out of India and not pay the money to Stanford or Harvard as of now.
Absolutely true. We also got Ryan and Finance here, who are both students. Ryan, can you kindly unmute yourself and come on video? I hope he's not going to start a startup now. Or he's not stuck in the rain. Ryan, yeah, Ryan. Ryan, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it right now, live.
You're mute, Ryan. Yeah.
You have to unmute yourself, Ryan.
Yeah.
The three most common captions in Zoom calls. Can you hear me? Please unmute yourself.
It's like an Ouija board, you know. We should have. Are you here?
I think as a host, you can unmute. You can try unmuting.
Okay. If Ryan, if you're having a problem with your video, with your audio, Finaz, if you're around, Finaz Ali.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you come on video, please?
Yes, just a second.
I love that Tom and Jerry caption you have, background you have.
Ah.
Tom and Jerry completed 78 years yesterday.
Oh.
Just grown up on that.
Wow.
Comedy never gets old. Yeah, Finaz, go for it. You have a question for our wonderful panelist, Finaz?
If I have, I'll put it in the chat box.
Okay, but if you want, you can ask a question right now.
Yeah,
They're waiting for something from you. Anything.
Okay, so I also have a mom who's like really starting a business venture. Okay, so I just want to ask, what does it take to, I don't know how to say it, like sustain your business idea, and once after starting it, what does it take to keep it alive?
All right. Anyone wants to take this question? Sudhir?
Yeah. Shall I take it? You want to mute Christopher? Okay. All right. All right, Finaz, don't start a business keeping in mind that you're going to make money. It's a wrong approach to start with. Okay, if you want to make the money part and you say, I'm going to start this business, it's going to make money, very soon that dream will be broken. If it's something which is a passion driven, which you're wonderful, you're good at, you pursue that part, which means the minute that you are doing what you like, money will follow. It's about the two, don't take it religious way, but I'm putting there's a goddess Saraswati and this goddess Lakshmi. All right. Saraswati is knowledge. Lakshmi is money. But Lakshmi is very beautiful. She's more beautiful than Saraswati. But we run after the beautiful one. Now, the beautiful one is also smart to run away from you. She never stays with you. Now, while you're running after this Lakshmi is not going to come in your hand. It's going to play difficult. Saraswati is just sitting and watching. Stop running after this beautiful Lakshmi and run after not so beautiful Saraswati, which is knowledge. The minute you start running after the Saraswati, automatically Lakshmi, she's jealous. She's more beautiful. So obviously she's a little bit jealous. She'll come chasing you. So ultimately what you're getting is knowledge and money follows. So the business that you plan to start or mama plans to start, tell her and ask her if what she's planning is something that's passion driven, something that she wants to do irrespective of what's following. And if she does that, her passion starts showing in the work, money will automatically come and fall into your lap. But if you chase the other way, as I said, Lakshmi is beautiful now. He'll never be available. She'll keep running and you'll just keep running after. So it's an easy way of it. I'm a storyteller, so I keep telling these stories. Okay, but it'll be easy. You'll remember this more than something else. All right. Someone else wants to answer? You can take it from there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's really, an experience that you have shared, and I think that's kind of worked in your life.
Yes.
So we should know
Absolutely.
who to run after, Sudhir.
There were quite a few Lakshmis I really ran after. Nothing worked. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
just
I
for the
know why you
record.
stopped chasing me now. So I got it.
So for Sudhir, we are recording this video, so all the Lakshmis will know about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So coming to talking about strategy, in a time when everyone talks about a culture of innovation and creativity, if you had a choice currently between innovation and creativity, which one would you select and why? I would like to start by asking Sathya. Sathya, if you can hear me.
Yeah.
SAMEERA, I could, but stuck in the rain. Can you please repeat?
Yeah. So if you had a choice between innovation and creativity, which one would you choose and why?
Oh, that's a tough choice. I think innovation also includes creativity in some way. So they are all built into each other. So we can't clearly distinguish this or that. We should learn to pick everything. Like the good analogy of Saraswati is, the more you learn, the more you innovate, the more creative you get. All of these build into each other. So it's not really a choice that I think we should make. We should try and go for both and see what you can make of it. That's my take on this.
So keeping in mind, your venture, can you just quickly share as to how have you managed to incorporate a blend of both into your venture currently?
Yeah, so the way we work on large public problems requires you to, think creatively and innovative. If I have to use both of those in a sentence, you can't get to collective action problems if you don't understand what are the social norms, how do you make change at a large scale, and how do small products play in this space. How do my electric vehicles play? How do my bicycles play? How do public transport play in all of these things? So you have to think big and at the same time come back and see where do you make the start? How do you make a small start? How do customers adopt things? You have to tackle that at the smallest level and see how it goes to the largest level. So yeah, it's always constantly a battle between how you understand society, how do you understand markets, how do you understand governance, and how do you position things in this space and then take it off. So it's a large play. It takes a lot of time, and I do believe that all of these things play an important role in making change happen. Change is the biggest thing now. With all the climate change stuff that is happening, you need to change fast. You need to change rapidly. You need to think on your feet. And these are things that all entrepreneurs will need in the next generation because the change has to happen at a rapid pace. We can't take 40 years to change anymore. It happens at a decadal intervals.
Correct. Change is only
yeah, that's where it is.
Nice. Sameera, you're on mute.
Sameera, you're muted.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Talking like a real Sameera. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for that. So Sathya, back to you when you spoke about change. Keeping your business running versus creativity and innovation. How would you balance the equation? Is it a 50-50, 70-30? Can you just tell us what emphasis would you lay and to what extent?
See, once you have finalized on something that you want to chase, you need to have, you shouldn't be innovating there. Once you've done the innovation and you've set on what you want to do, you have to give it some legs. You have to run it for a while and see where it goes before you pivot again. So the important thing is to use the innovation to address what kind of products or, or social change movement that you want to start. Bring that up, set it in stone, and then have the legs to run it continuously for a while and see where the fit is happening between what you want and what people are taking and accepting. So once you find the fit, till you find the fit, you need to look at how do you innovate. And after that, you have to have the legs and strengths to keep running it continuously. And that's where most of the money and willpower and staying in the game comes through. A lot of problems start appearing there. And then again, you have to keep your thinking hat on to see if you need to pivot at some point in time, you have to again do that. So it's a constant back and forth. So yeah, that's how you do that.
Wonderful. Shekhar, is that Sunshine at the back listening so attentively to the conversation?
That's
all of us, let's wave to Sunshine. Hi, Sunshine. I think he was really engaged with Sathya's conversation just now. So great going.
Yeah, that's my dog, Sunshine, and she's in all our conversations.
Okay.
She's always watching and listening to us, and I'm sure she's going to start a very soon. She's already started looking at this conversation. Now, on that Sunshine note, Vijetha, I wanted to know from you, what is the best and the worst piece of advice you ever received? I'm sure you would have received it when you've done what you've done, right?
Yeah, so the best thing is, don't classify it as advice, just classify it as an input in life and move on. So I think, Shekhar, you would agree with me and, all those listening in, that you get inputs, you get advice, you get a lot of learnings. It is how do you kind of internalize it and use it well for yourself in whichever context that is there. So let's imagine that you get two pieces of advice in the same situation where absolutely contrarian. So one will say, look before you leap. And the other one says, what's the exact opposite? Don't miss the moment. Just grab it and whatever it is, correct? So that's why I say that advice is very difficult to categorize. So, and as always, I slip away from all these kind of dangerous, conversations and whatever it is. But I think, Shekhar, one of the good advices that I got on a serious note was that you have to find energy, you have to find your magic, you have to find your mojo. See, I have come from the hotel industry. very tough retail industry, retail operations. You're always in front of customers. You have to be smiling. You got to be pleasant. You got to build your patience. So however tired you are and however tough your life is, you owe it to the, your audience or your community at that point in time as a guest, your teammates. You have to just find your magic. You have to find the way that you can contribute and give value back. So this is something that I've remembered. I was told this maybe 30 years back, and that's, when I was in college, that whatever happens, don't let life bog you down. So this is something that I always remember, because we all go through tough times, Shekhar, and even as youngsters or older people, or we are working, or parents, or whatever it is, challenges will be there. It doesn't go away, however good you are and however smart you are. But we just have to find a way to come out of it, because life is still very, very, very good.
Superb. So now, absolutely. So from that, I want to move on to Divya, and then I've got something exciting which is going to come up. Divya, I want to know from you, what's the best and the worst piece of advice you have received? And to make it more spicy, who gave it also?
I'm not sure on that, but I can give you the two pieces. I think the best one that I got was every day in your to-do, the first 2 hours, do things that you don't like to do.
Nice.
So always do those part
good.
of business, because you're naturally inclined to do something you like, and then you just keep pushing it and ensure your day is almost ending and you don't know what to do. So that was one, and I think that's kind of work that's helped me learn few things that I never wanted to, never liked, never understood maybe. Worst advice, single woman, divorced, are you sure you'll have to deal with so many people when you run your business? They may not be kind. This is a male-dominated world. So like that. I think it was out of concern, but I think it's still the wrong thing to seed into any person's mind, to flaw them from chasing what they want to do or doing anything. I mean, it's not just about starting a business. It could have been just picking a job somewhere. So that's
So you deal with negativity just like the virtual background behind you. That's the virtual background.
That's my aspirational first travel when I can go to Europe as soon as I can. But by the way, I'm traveling quite a bit. I was hearing Vijetha saying I'm missing traveling. I travel, I think the moment they started domestic last year after the first wave, I travel about 2 to 3 days every week. And also just now, I think for the last 1.5 months, I've been traveling. So,
Divya, I have to share this with you. The last place I traveled before the pandemic was Beijing.
Oh, me too. I was there. You know what? I was there November 19. And because there was the biggest EdTech event that was happening in Beijing at that point of time, I was there and I came back, and in 10 days, the world knew about a word known as COVID.
Correct. So yeah, while we continue, I wanted to know from Sudhir, Vijetha, Santosh, also Sathya, 3 words which you would use to describe the SFactor, because we want to plug our show also here, right? No, I'm just doing a fast one, but yeah, three words which you use to describe the SFactor. Sameera, we can start with you actually if you want.
I think it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be shocking. And I think it's going to be very sensual, because it touches each one in a very special way.
You're dealing with all our senses right now.
Thank you, Shekhar.
Yes.
Does it have to be in the S itself, or?
Yeah, no. Just 3 words which describes the SFactor for you. 3 words.
Okay. All right. Can I go next?
Yeah.
I find this spontaneous, and I find this spicy, and I find this fun.
Okay.
Nice. Vijetha.
Yes, sir. I was just looking up the dictionary to find 3 words that I
Says the man from the hotel industry.
Yeah, but few words like definitely, Sameera and Shekhar. I just realized that, it stands for Sameera and Shekhar, so 2 S's covered. So I'll think of, and of course it's sensational. It's very sensible. I think what we're sharing here has got a lot of value for the future as well. and it's super fun, man. I mean, keep up the good work. I know this is episode 12, and I'm plugging this for all you wonderful folks who have joined us and are watching. Please let this grow from episode 12 to episode 120.
Yes.
10x growth. And I know, I mean, I will root for SAMEERA and SHEKHAR because they're both friends, people I value as individuals, are contributing a lot to the ecosystem and community. So go for it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think for me, I think it's a very, I'm liking what Sudhir talked about. Again, start with this. So I think it's a very simple messaging which I'm liking. Very simple messaging, simple, subtle, and sharing. We are all coming out talking about it, which is very important. We can keep ourselves, and the world is going to go, a couple of times having trouble. And I think this should be the standard across communities, right? So you're setting a standard across communities to have, the culture of keeping things simple, sharing it, and helping people to, to find better paths. So those are my three aspects.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful. Thank you, Santosh.
Divya. Yeah.
Okay. No, after Divya.
Yeah, I haven't thought, so I was too happy listening to everybody. So I think I don't want to open the dictionary again. Now, which one is left? Let me fit that in.
All right.
But I think it's time for us to have such mature platforms where one doesn't have to be preachy. A lot of times I go on so many webinars, people are talking like utopia stuff.
Correct.
I'm like, what are you saying? This is not even happening. But I think it's good just to be yourself, and you can say what your experiences are, and may not align with other people, but that's fine. That's how life is.
Correct. Thank you. You just nailed it. So, Sathya Sankaran, who's right now in the hospital, hopefully in the rain. 3 words.
Yeah, I'm drenched to the bone. I hope my phone is still working. Energetic, friendly, and informative. It's always a pleasure talking with you, SHEKHAR. We've done a lot of things, and good luck with your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now SAMEERA, you had a song for us, right? Which Sudhir is going to play on the guitar.
Yes.
Am I?
Am I? It's going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
This is a surprise.
Yeah.
Sudhir is going to play it on the guitar. He just told me that before the show.
Yes.
Okay. So this S
now,
stands for
please.
surprise. No, I won't. Shameless.
A few minutes left, and we would love for you.
That's wonderful surprise.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I wasn't planning to, but anyway, yes. So, am I loud and clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So something with the S factor. Most of the listeners are Hindi, North Indian, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam. Okay, you know what?
And from 60
Okay, then I'll just give you English. It's a good day. I love her mama, loves Jesus, in America too. Good day. She's crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too. A long day, and living in Reseda. It's a freeway running to the yard. I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. I'm free falling. I'm free falling.
This was a live show. We'd be doing this.
Yes.
With our phones.
And I think we should do the free falling again. Free falling again.
Done.
And praise.
Yeah, we should be
Done.
falling again.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Someday if you guys really want some, thank you. Someday if you really guys want some singing kind of a thing, I have the proper karaoke system and most of Hindi songs and Tamil 5 languages. I can sing it for you in all 5 languages. Yeah, so if you want to really, I mean, there's some, I think 40-50 followers on YouTube for my singing. So if you think you want to, just Sudhir Udayakanth, you can find me there.
No, Sudhir, I have to tell you this. So my, yesterday somebody had sent me a video of a Pakistani person singing a Kannada song.
Wow.
Hurry, wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
the accent was perfect. Just think about it, right?
Could be he's a Kannadiga, he was in Pakistan.
Kannada
It's like just pulling a fast.
Quite possible. But the accent, everything, like I feel music has no boundaries, and you just proved it right now.
It has no boundaries. No, after 17 years, I got back into things like, see, that's painting. It's all oil paints. So this place is full of this thing. So I started painting. All these are my work, it's like, as you can see at the back and all that. Music, aquariums, got into gardening after 17 years. And thanks to, again, being locked at home. So you end up finding out things that you're good at. And I'm 48 this November. And suddenly midlife crisis, I bought a bike. And that's a bullet jacket that you see at the back. So I now ride also, So just that I think somewhere you find who you are and you want to just pursue and be a little selfish, wanting to make yourself, do something for yourself. Maybe everything else, like in airplanes, they say, it's like, oxygen mask first for you and then the person next to you.
Absolutely.
So it's as simple as that. First, you be happy, then you can make someone else happy.
You're right.
And if you're not happy single, you'll never be happy taken.
So true.
Alrighty. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to shift focus to Divya now. Divya, what is the one weird thing that you have done in your life and then felt you were so happy, to do it?
Okay, I'm quite weird on a daily basis. So let me just think what kind of an incident can I isolate and really share. Weird what? Business-wise? I mean, life-wise? I don't know. I mean, is there something that you're looking for? Sameera?
Anything that comes to your mind, a quick thinking thought. I'm gonna move on to SHEKHAR, to give me that quick answer before I come back to you. SHEKHAR.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What is the one weird thing that you have done apart from being with me on this talk show?
There's certainly nothing weird about it. It's always fun with you, Sameera. But the weirdest thing I did today morning was while shaving. I was shaving today and I was thinking, why is it smelling like menthol? I realized I have applied toothpaste on myself. And my in-laws are in town, so I come out and I'm trying to wash and they're like, you're smelling different. And the dog looks at me and says, you're smelling different. So that's the weirdest thing that happened today morning.
Amazing. So I hope you're planning to do that more often because that was the question. Divya, over to you.
Yeah, that is like the weirdest. I remember from his toothpaste. I remember there was a time I got my all hair done, brownish, light brown. And my nephew was being born. I was in the hospital and some really bad thing happened and they'd all flared up. Like I was like an Afro Delhi woman with some golden hair. And all the nurses were like, you've come from outside. You've come from foreign se. I said, मैं foreign आ रही हूँ, हमारा बच्चा foreign से दो पहले.
Nice one, Divya. Vijetha, over to you. Sorry, Vijetha, I can't hear you. If you can unmute.
Yes, Sameera. Sorry, I managed to do something to my Zoom. So definitely, look, we keep doing weird things all the time, Sameera. And as long as it doesn't kill us, then we can come out and we say we did something weird, it was stupid, but it was fun.
But I know something he has done. Okay. I don't know if we can qualify that as weird.
Yeah.
He was doing pull-ups in one video. Pull-ups or push-ups. There's something you were doing, right, Vijetha?
Oh God. Yeah. Whatever. I have to leave that down.
Destroy evidence.
Is it on YouTube? Can we all get to see it sometime?
I don't know what.
It is a Kundra in all of us. Huh?
Santosh,
that kind.
Yeah. So no, weird thing happens with me on locations and dates. So I end up going. So if it is going to be, let's say 10th August, I'm supposed to be invited. I end up thinking 9th August, and I end up going all the way to the almost near. Let's say I'm going to SHEKHAR's place. And then just before 100 meters, I realized, no, it's not today, it's tomorrow. And I go all the way, I go back. And it has happened not just once, it happens quite frequently. So and now with age, I'm getting a little bit more conscious. But in the younger side, I used to do that quite often. right? End up going early, almost a day early, or a bit of early to figure out that that's not the timing. You come on an odd day almost, right? That's a weird thing that happens to me.
Nice.
Amazing. And we have Sathya with us. Sathya, are you there?
No, I don't see him. Sameera, you have to tell us what is the weird thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I do, I've done so many weird things in life. And one was, I always wanted to be an author. And I told myself, can I just write 2 books on a different genre as a first-time author? And then I just was trying to aim high. So I said, let me try to see, get the deputy chief minister to kind of release it. And it was an aspiration for me. And I did that. And he was happy to release my books.
ये तो कुछ भी weird नहीं है. ये तो बहुत बड़ी achievement.
ये तो weird नहीं है. This is what entrepreneurs do. Sameera, what is weird? Like shaving, something like that.
So I think that's about life. And life is beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. All right. On that beautiful note, I think we're finishing just on time. We started an hour back, and I think it's so nice to see all of you. Once again, thank you, Santosh ji. Thank you, Sathya ji. Thank you, Vijetha ji. Thank you, Divya ji. And thank you, Sudhir Sahab. Thank you for the wonderful song. Nice to hear.
Pleasure.
Nice to hear all of you.
Yeah, great music, wonderful music.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to add all of you. I'm going to add all of you in my LinkedIn profile because I loved interacting with all of you.
Please.
And just this morning, I spoke to an audience, it's like with the SUTA Saturday, and I was telling them, interact with people who make you happy and release the others, even if their family members release them, So I'm going to add you guys.
And Sudhir,
thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thank you, Sameera and Shekhar.
Before we
Thank you so much.
A special thanks to News Karnataka, who is also getting us live across 60 countries around the world. So, spread your wings, spread happiness, spread positivity, and, let's ensure that life is beautiful, not just for us, but for the whole world too. On that note, on behalf of SFactor and Shekhar, thank you so much for being with us today.
And this is going live on the SFactor YouTube page. So whatever we see right now is already there on the SFactor YouTube page.
Awesome. Hope to be back on this forum again. Thank you, Sameera and Shekhar.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.